All right, guys. So it is about 1:17 in the morning. There about. We just got our first part of the Siege of Mandalore arc. We're gonna get into this episode, guys. This is a 4 episode arc, guys, and these are the last 4 of this particular series, guys. So let's get right into it. Let's react, guys. Whoa, this is different. Lucas Limited Production. Oh, yeah. I've been excited for this all week. Whoa, Clone Wars in the red font. Man, that looks beautiful. Wow. Oh, woo, this looks cinematic. Woo. We get right into the action, baby. Oh, look at that. Woo. Obi. We got Obi-Wan. That was beautiful.
Well, I can see Anakin. Where are you? I'm right here.
Anakin.
What are you doing down there? I have come to surrender.
R2. Rex.
How much longer we stuck down here? Great. I'll tell the boys. All right, man. Hang in there a little longer. Yes, sir.
So I have you ceasefire.
Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker has surrendered to us, Commander.
There he is. It's a trap, you fools. Open fire. Now or two.
Anakin, baby. Look at that. Look at that. Jetpacks. Woo. Da-da. The music is beautiful too, guys. Whoa. Man. Clone Wars, baby. Clone Wars. Beautiful.
General.
Skywalker here. What is it, Admiral?
Sir, we've received a transmission from someone using our subspace frequency. Fulcrum.
Fulcrum.
Perhaps the siege at all.
Using Fulcrum. Interesting.
It's not Carrera. You had best take this transmission here on the ship.
We know who that is. Ahsoka, baby.
Hello, Master. It's been a while.
Ahsoka. Wow. I don't believe it. How are you? Where are you? Are you okay?
I'm all right. Thank you.
That's awesome. The shots are absolutely stunning. Oh, yeah, this is Ahsoka showing up. Look at this. Face to face. Beautiful moment. R2.
Maul's influence on Mandalore is destroying my people. He murdered their ruler, my sister. I thought she meant something to you.
Oh, hit Obi-Wan in the gut.
She did. And still does. But I cannot allow my feelings to cloud my judgment. The Council will decide what our course of action will be.
There's an axe. Of course, this is the scene that we've seen in the trailer a few times.
The paint job's a little crude, but we think it gets the idea across.
Oh.
Anakin, Rex, prepare all forces. We're jumping to hyperspace immediately. Yes, sir. No, it's Coruscant. Grievous has attacked the capital. What about the Chancellor? Shock T has been sent to protect him, but Master Windu has lost contact.
Interesting. Shock T.
Not to worry. Our fleet can be there within the hour.
So that's it. You're going to abandon Bo-Katan and her people. This is why the people have lost faith in the Jedi.
Right now, people on Coruscant need us.
No, the Chancellor needs you.
That's not fair.
I'm not trying to
I
be.
killed Maul once. Just to capture him. He doesn't seem to stay dead.
She got her sabers, baby.
I took care of him. The good is new. Maybe a little better. You capture Maul. I'll take care of Grievous. With any luck, this will all be over soon.
Nice.
Master Anakin,
It's the last time
good luck.
they'll meet as Ahsoka and Anakin. The next time they meet, it'll be Ahsoka versus Vader.
Saxon, prepare our forces for an all-out attack. Rook, inform the Syndicate of the invasion.
Why does she look like Sabine?
It's been a while since we had a fight like this.
Gar
Are
Saxon.
you ready?
He looks interesting. Looks different from Rebels. That's sweet. That's sweet, Gar Saxon. Ahsoka, baby. Ahsoka, look at my girl. Go, Soki, go. Ahsoka's theme. Uh-oh. Ahsoka, that was nice. That was nice. She pulled the Anakin move right there too.
Be you.
Some things never change.
Mando versus Mando. Look at that. Look at that. The Maul Mandos look nice. God, man, I hope we get a couple of those in toy form. Come on, man. Give us a Mando in the Black Series.
We're meeting strong.
And look, bodies laying all over the place. Whoa. Oh, Katan. Whoa. That was nice. Ooh. Ooh. Now we see why Bo-Katan is who she is. I love his armor. His armor looks nice. Damn. Ooh.
Where's Maul?
You were never the politician your sister was.
Oh.
Ahsoka, come in. You're walking into a trap. Ahsoka!
Sense it, Ahsoka. Damn.
Run! Wait!
Oh,
I was hoping for Kenobi. Why
are you here? Oh man, with the saber noise at the end. Wow, 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 wow. So, obviously, and I shouldn't say obviously, I don't know how a lot of people are going to feel about this episode, but I really enjoyed this first arc of this Siege of Mandalore episode. I thought it was absolutely great. Had some really great moments between Ahsoka and Anakin, so really good stuff, guys. So let's get right into this, guys. So the episode begins a lot differently than what we usually get in the Clone Wars with the da-da and the Clone Wars going off. We kind of start off with the Lucasfilm production logo, and we get a beautiful silhouette of the Ahsoka theme playing very lightly. And then as that is playing along, we get the title of the episode in part one, and then we get the Clone Wars font in red, which is really, really cool and very, very awesome start to this episode. And then we get right into our recap and into the episode. And then the episode starts with a beautiful cinematic opening of a battle that's going on. We have Obi-Wan and Commander Bly right here pinned down in this particular battle with the Separatist army. And all hell has broken loose. Just a beautiful, beautiful cinematic opening to this particular episode. Then a little bit later, we get Anakin, who shows up very cocky, very sure of himself, making you think that he's going to just go in there and wreck shop, right? Just going to break out a saber and he's just going to wreck shop is what I'm thinking he's going to do. And what he actually ends up doing is faking his surrender so they can get the commander droid out in the open. Once they get the commander droid out in the open, Anakin force pulls him and knocks his head off, and we begin our attack. Then we get a call for Obi-Wan and Anakin to return back to the ship because there's an emergency message coming. We have both of them return to the ship. We get the scene that we got in the announcement trailer where we see Anakin walking up to the hologram, and we have Ahsoka and Bo-Katan with their backs turned to him, and they turn around, and Ahsoka says, "It's been a long time, Master." So really cool, and we get our meeting Obi-Wan and Anakin that they have Maul, and they believe that they can capture him, and they decide to have this meeting to see if the Jedi will help the Mandalorians capture Maul and free Mandalore, and they would obviously have Maul captured in this particular war. At this point, we have Ahsoka and Bo-Katan coming to Anakin and Obi-Wan to present their case on why capturing Maul would be very beneficial to them, as well as freeing Mandalore. Obi-Wan tells Bo-Katan and Ahsoka that this is not anything that he can approve. He'll have to take this to the council. And then Bo-Katan hits him with a gut shot, saying that, they killed my sister. I thought she meant something to you. And Obi-Wan responds just as a Jedi would, saying that, of course she means something to me, but I can't let my feelings cloud my judgment in this particular matter. I have to take this to the council. And then, of course, then Bo-Katan turns to Ahsoka and tells Ahsoka that, see, I told you they wouldn't help us. Now, why this is so important, and I know a lot of people are still going to say that those episodes, the Ahsoka Walkabout arc, was a little too drawn out, even if it is making the point that it is making in this particular part of the episode right here. And basically what it's saying here is that Ahsoka is now getting yet another example when the Jedi are putting politics over helping people. And Ahsoka is in this to help people. So we again see why Ahsoka is not really. We understand why she is not really coming back to the Jedi. yes, she is engaged in this battle, but she's engaged in it to help Mandalore, to help Bo-Katan, to help people, to do what the Jedi seem they are incapable of doing, and still following the Republic and not following what a true Jedi should do, and that's to help people who are in need. Mandalore is in need, so that is why Ahsoka is in this. But again, going back to her relationship with Rafa and Trace, we see Ahsoka gets again another example of what where the Jedi have kind of lost their way, where the people are concerned. I think that's why those episodes were so important. Now, again, did we need 4 episodes just to get that one example and have it intertwined with this particular moment? Maybe not, but I think there's more to those episodes than just this particular point or this aspect of Ahsoka's mindset as it concerns the Jedi. But I just wanted to point that out. So we get a very cool moment with Anakin and Ahsoka back together again. Their first meeting since the last time when she left the Order, and Anakin has already set up a legion of troops for Ahsoka to command, thinking that she's coming right back to the Jedi, and he takes her to go see her troops. And obviously, this is the scene that we've got in the trailer a couple of times, where we see the 501st now dressed in, their helmets now designed in the facial markings of Ahsoka, which is really, really awesome and very cool. And then, of course, we have Rex standing there as well. We have this reunion with Rex and Ahsoka, which is very, very touching and very, very cool. So we now get that call in regards to the attack on Coruscant. Obi-Wan comes running in to inform Anakin that they need to return to Coruscant, and they're not going to be able to help Ahsoka. This is where Anakin decides that he's going to break up the 501st and create a legion of troops for Ahsoka, and he'll take the remaining troops in the 501st back with him to Coruscant. Obi-Wan approves of this, and now we have the troops now under Ahsoka's command heading back to Mandalore with Bo-Katan and her Mandalorian warriors to try to overthrow the current regime, which is Maul at Mandalore. So we get to see the moment that Anakin and Obi-Wan were called back to Coruscant because General Grievous has commenced his attack on Coruscant. So that is absolutely cool. Under Ahsoka's command, but she has her troops heading in with Bo-Katan into Mandalore, and we get this again beautiful cinematic view of the troops going into Mandalore and wreaking havoc and trying to overthrow the current regime. And we also get a very cool look at Gar Saxon. For those of you who are familiar with the Rebel series, we got our first look at Gar Saxon there. We see him here looking very much like his character in Rebels, but obviously in this animation looking very cool. I thought he looked very, very good in this animation. Then I also like his helmet. We see that he definitely had his tribute to Maul in regards to the helmet gear that he was wearing. So really cool tie-in with that character into Rebels. So some very cool connections in this episode, not only to not only to Revenge of the Sith, but we also got a very cool tie-in the Rebels as well in this particular episode. So Gar Saxon and his men travel to the underground of Mandalore, and Ahsoka and Bo-Katan decide to split up. Ahsoka goes after Gar Saxon and his men underground, and Bo-Katan continues the attack on the surface. So as we are in these catacombs, if you will, underneath Mandalore, platoon of Gar Saxon's men are kind of flanking Ahsoka and her men in the catacombs. They flank them and kind of catch them off guard. uh, the men take off from Ahsoka, getting separated, and start getting picked off one by one. I forget the commander's name under this particular legion of Ahsoka's men, but he ends up getting killed as well, unfortunately, and trying to run after Gar Saxon's men. But we learned that this is obviously a trap that was meant for Obi-Wan Kenobi, but because Ahsoka is the one that came to their aid, Ahsoka was the one that was caught in this trap, and we have Ahsoka surrounded by Gar Saxon's men, the Mandalorians, and then we get the entrance of Maul, and Maul asks, and we heard this line in the trailer, "Why are you here?" He was expecting to have Obi-Wan there, and obviously it was Ahsoka who showed up and not Obi-Wan. Obviously, this trap was he thought that he would pull on the emotions of Obi-Wan and his feelings for Satine, and again, as we saw earlier in the episode, Obi-Wan did not want to be guided by his emotions for Satine, and he went and did his duty to help protect Coruscant and not fall into this trap that Maul has set for him. However, now Ahsoka has sprung this trap, and she's fallen in this trap, and now we have this meeting between Ahsoka and Maul, and this is the cliffhanger that we're left with until next week. Next week's episode. So again, guys, I thought this was an excellent episode. I enjoyed it immensely. Again, there was a lot of tie-ins to not only Revenge of the Sith, but you got some tie-ins to Rebels with Gar Saxon. So I thought that was really cool stuff. We got some really cool moments with Ahsoka and Anakin, where they kind of discussed what happened and why Ahsoka left. We also got to see a good example of Ahsoka's mindset in regards to the Jedi and how they've gone more political as opposed to helping the people. And again, this sets up Ahsoka's mindset as she moves forward as a character in the Star Wars universe. And then also another cool little tidbit that we got is she uses the code name Fulcrum for the first time in this episode as well. Obviously, we know that Ahsoka will go on to play the role of Fulcrum for the Rebels later on, once the rebellion gets started a few years later down the line. So that was a really cool again tie-in to what Ahsoka's future with the rebellion is going to be. So really cool stuff in this episode. Again, guys, I enjoyed it immensely. I cannot wait for next week's episode. I wasn't sure that we were going to get this saber battle between Ahsoka and Maul so quickly. If we look at the scenes that we saw in the trailer, real quickly, as we saw in the trailer, the battle with Ahsoka and Maul happens in a different. It doesn't happen underground, I don't believe, in the catacombs there underground. I think it takes place in the main throne room, the main chambers of Mandalore. So we'll have to see how Ahsoka and Maul get from where they are in the underground in the catacombs to that throne room where they ultimately have their battle. So we'll see what comes of that. And I think that that's something that probably we'll get in the next episode, which is really interesting, because if they cover that portion of the siege of Mandalore there, it'll be interesting to see what they do to cover the last two episodes of this 4-part arc, guys. But I really enjoyed this episode, guys. I'm going to go ahead and score this episode. I'm going to score this episode a 9.5 out of 10. Again, guys, excellent episode. We got some really cool tie-ins to Revenge of the Sith and some tie-ins to Rebels. Of course, we got the Fulcrum reference, which is really cool. We got some very cool moments between Ahsoka and Anakin in this episode that I enjoyed immensely, guys. So really good stuff there, guys. But I would like to know what your thoughts are, guys. So put those comments down below. Let me know what you thought of this episode. Did you enjoy this episode? Did you like the references and callbacks that we got to Revenge of the Sith and to Rebels there? Did you notice anything in the episode that I missed? Any references that I missed, guys? Go ahead and put those comments down below in the comments. I will respond to those comments, guys. But I enjoyed this immensely. I enjoyed this immensely, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are, guys. Put those comments down below. Please like and subscribe. And of course, guys, from the Father to the Son to the Obi-Wan Force Ghost. May the Force be with you always.